Space was silent around Station Helios 9. The small research outpost floated above a dark, empty planet that had no name and no recorded life. It was supposed to be a safe assignment, a boring assignment. But tonight, nothing felt safe. Nothing felt normal. Inside the station, alarms flashed red again and again. Oxygen levels dropped. Power flickered like a dying candle. And every corridor echoed with the same voice. Warning. Hull breach detected. Unknown presence detected. Commander Rello stood near the central console, trying to keep his breathing calm. He was a tall, blue-skinned Belorian with bright silver eyes, but fear had turned those eyes dim. He looked around at his remaining crew. Only 5 left now. The rest were gone. Taken. Pulled into the shadows of the planet below. What attacked us? Technician Merrick asked, his voice shaking. We never saw it. Not even once. Rello did not answer, because he had no answer. No one had seen the creature, or creatures, that came in the night. They had only heard the screams, the metal bending, the airlocks forced open from the outside. The station had weapons, motion sensors, defense shields. None of it mattered. Something fast, intelligent, and silent was hunting them, and it was still out there. A sharp crack echoed through the wall. The crew froze. Merrick whispered, "It's back." Lights flashed again. Oxygen 43%. Power critical. Rello knew they were running out of time. If the station failed, they would suffocate long before anyone came to help. If anyone came at all. He opened the emergency transmitter. "This is Commander Rello of Helios 9. We are under attack by an unknown entity. Our crew is dying. Our systems are failing. We request immediate assistance." He sent the SOS once, twice, 10 times. The nearest friendly species, the Varen, were 4 days away at best. The diplomatic fleets were even farther. And the small local colonies had no military ships. Rello felt a cold truth sinking inside him. No one was coming. The crew had already prepared for death, sitting quietly, whispering prayers to their homeworlds. But Rello wasn't ready to give up. "We send the signal again," he said. "We keep trying until the transmitter burns out." Merrick looked at him. "Commander, even if someone hears it, we will be dead before they arrive." Rello clenched his jaw. "Then we make sure we die trying." The station shook again. A deep, metallic sound, like something crawling along the outer hull. Everyone looked up. Footsteps. Heavy ones. Merrick whispered, "It's on the roof." Lights went out. Total darkness swallowed the room for 2 seconds, long enough for the crew to feel pure terror. Then the emergency lights clicked on again. A single camera feed activated, showing the exterior hull. There was nothing there, just empty space and the black curve of the dead planet. But the footsteps continued. Rello felt sweat drip down his back. "This thing is playing with us." He sent the SOS again. And suddenly, something impossible happened. The transmitter beeped. A reply. A real reply. The screen blinked with a single message. "Help acknowledged." The crew gasped. They looked at one another with desperate hope, like drowning men seeing a rescue ship. But then the second line of the message appeared. "Deploying asset, Black Star." Rello frowned. "Black Star? What is Black Star?" Navigator Lyra swallowed hard. "Commander, that is human military code." Everyone in the room froze. Humans, the Deathworlders, a species so dangerous that most governments avoided them. They lived on the harshest planet in the known galaxy, fought wars with impossible courage, and built machines that other species considered insane. If humans sent help, it usually meant destruction for the enemy, or for everything around the enemy. Merrick whispered, "Why would humans answer our call? We are not allies." Lyra shook her head. "Because humans don't ignore SOS signals. They don't leave survivors to die, even if it means sending their most dangerous ship." Rello stared at the screen. "Black Star is at a rescue craft." Lyra's voice dropped. "No, it is a warship." The hull shook harder this time. The creature, or whatever it was, slammed something heavy against the metal. The station groaned. Oxygen 36%. Hull integrity failing. But no one looked at the warning anymore. All eyes were on the star chart as a new signal appeared. A ship was entering the system. A massive one. Black. Silent. Without running lights. It didn't travel like normal ships. It glided, absorbing the starlight, as if it were made of darkness itself. Commander Rello whispered, "Is that the Black Star?" The vessel blocked half the starfield behind it. Its hull was covered in strange human markings, warning symbols, and weapon ports large enough to smash a moon in half. Merrick stepped back from the screen. "Commander, humans didn't send help." He swallowed. "They sent a weapon." The creature on the hull stopped moving, as if sensing something far more dangerous had arrived. The Black Star slowly turned, pointing its front cannons toward the planet, toward the threat, toward Helios 9 itself. Rello breathed in deeply. "We call for help," he said, "but I fear we may have just invited a bigger danger." And as the human warship charged its engines, the lights in the station flickered, and the story truly began. The Black Star did not enter the system like a normal ship. It arrived like a shadow choosing to exist. One moment, space was empty. The next moment, the human warship hovered above the dead planet, silent and still. No hyperspace trail, no warp residue, no sound, just darkness. Inside Helios 9, the alien crew stared at the screen as if the universe itself had changed shape. Navigator Lyra whispered, How did it appear so fast? That jump is impossible." Commander Rello could only shake his head. Human technology had always been strange, but this felt supernatural, as if the ship didn't jump through space, but stepped through it. The Black Star sent no greeting, no friendly signal, no identification codes. Just one cold transmission. Helios 9, survival probability 12%. Remain inside. Do not engage hostiles. Merrick frowned. Remain inside? The thing is on our hull. What do they expect us to do? Offer tea? No one laughed, because the creature outside began moving again. A long, scraping sound echoed to the station, metal against metal, slow and deliberate. The crew tensed as dust fell from the ceiling panels. Something heavy crawled directly above them. Lyra whispered, "It's reacting to human ship." It's scared. Rello stared at the monitor. For the first time since the attacks began, the creature wasn't trying to enter the station. It was hiding. White medium star. The Black Star opens its eye. On the human warship, a massive circular section on the hull rotated open, revealing a single glowing lens, like the eye of a titan waking from a long sleep. A silent beam scanned the planet, then the station, then something in the shadows beyond. But the beam emitted no light. Instead, it absorbed light. The crew felt a cold chill. Merrick whispered, "Commander, that is not scanning. It is hunting." Rello nodded slowly. Humans don't rescue by searching. They rescue by eliminating threats. A second transmission arrived. Helios 9, prepare for contact. The crew stiffened. Contact from what? Lyra asked. The answer came immediately. Boarding team inbound. White medium star, human drop pods. 3 dark pods detached from the warship and streaked toward the station like burning meteors. They rotated in perfect formation, each leaving a faint spiral trail behind them. But the pods did not slow down. Merrick panicked. "They're going to crash into us." "No," Rello said quietly. "They know exactly what they're doing." The pods slammed into the outer docking ring. Metal screamed, sparks flew, and then the pods unfolded like iron flowers. From inside them stepped figures in black exosuits, helmets with glowing strips, and heavy weapons shaped for war, not rescue. The Deathworlders had arrived. But something was strange. Humans were known for being loud, confident, emotional. Yet these soldiers moved with completely silent discipline. Not a word spoken, not a step wasted, not a sound made. It was like watching trained predators enter a hunting ground. White medium star, the first human message. One of the humans finally transmitted a message. The voice was calm, cold, and too steady for a normal person. "This is Commander Vale of the Black Star. Station Helios 9, hold position. We are here to secure your survival." His words sounded like a promise and a threat. Rello replied quickly, "Commander Vale, we are under attack by an unknown entity. It is fast, invisible to normal sensors, and highly intelligent." Vale responded instantly, "We are aware of the creature on your hull." The crew froze. Rello asked, "Can you see it?" Vale's reply was disturbing. "It is standing on your station now, watching us." Everyone looked up. The ceiling creaked. Something shifted in the metal. Lyra trembled. "How can you see it when we cannot?" Vale answered, "Because it is not hiding from us. It is evaluating us." White medium star humans versus the invisible hunter. The lights flickered as a human squad moved through the docking corridor. Their suits emitted a faint hum, energy fields scanning the area. Suddenly, a human soldier turned sharply, weapon raised. Rello watched the screen. "What is he aiming at?" Before anyone could answer, the corridor camera caught a brief shape, a distortion, like heat rising off metal. And then it moved. A blur, a shadow, a silent sprint, straight toward the human soldier. The alien crew gasped, but the human did not flinch. He fired once. A single round. No sound. No light. Just a vibration. The creature was knocked sideways, as if hit by a meteor. Its cloaking flickered, revealing something horrifying. Long limbs, razor claws, a mouth like cracked stone dripping black fluid. It screamed, a high metallic shriek, before vanishing again. Commander Vale's voice came through calmly. "Contact confirmed. Multiple hostiles. Continue defensive position." Rello stared at the monitor. "They shot it without even seeing it." Merrick shook his head. "No, they saw it, just not with eyes." The humans chased the invisible creature deeper into the station, their steps heavy, weapons humming, sensors flashing. The alien crew felt something they had not felt in days. Hope, but at the same time, fear. Because these humans didn't move like rescuers. They moved like apex predators clearing territory. And the ship they arrived in wasn't a lifeboat. It was a weapon designed to erase threats from existence. White medium star the unsettling discovery. As the humans moved through the station, Vale sent a final message. "Commander Rello, we have identified the nature of your attacker." Rello leaned forward. "What is it?" Vale's voice stayed calm. "It is not hunting you for food." A pause. "It is defending something. Something under the planet's surface." The crew fell silent. Lyra whispered, trembling, "Defending what?" Commander Vale answered with a single chilling line. "A nest." And for the first time, even the humans sounded cautious. The Black Star soldiers moved deeper into Helios 9, but the corridors felt colder now, almost alive. Every metal surface seemed to vibrate with a low hum. Every shadow looked sharper, waiting to move. Commander Rello and his team watched from the control room. The camera feeds flickered, struggling to keep up with the human soldiers' speed. Merrick whispered, "Humans, they walk like they own the place." But Rello felt something else. No, they walk like they're expecting something worse. White medium star, the first trail. One of the soldiers stopped near a damaged airlock. His helmet light switched to a strange spectrum, colors no alien eyes had names for. He knelt down and touched a spot of black liquid dripping from the ceiling. Lyra leaned closer to the screen. "Is that blood?" The soldier turned the liquid under his scanner. The scanner beeped once. Then a message flashed on Rello's display. "Warning! Bioweapon residue." Rello felt his stomach drop. "Bioweapon? You mean this thing was created?" Vale responded immediately, voice steady as stone. "Correct. It is engineered. It adapts. It hides. It learns." Merrick swallowed. "Learns what?" Another beep. Another scan result. Learning pattern. Predator avoidance. Lyra gasped. "It's learning how to avoid humans." Rello whispered. "Then why hasn't it attacked them yet?" Vale answered simply. "Because it is not finished analyzing us." White medium star the camera that should not move. Suddenly, one of the hallway cameras turned slowly, by itself. No crew member had touched it. No system command was given. It turned until it stared directly at one of the human soldiers. The soldier stopped, raised his weapon, did not breathe. The camera feed flickered, static distortion, and then Rello saw something impossible. Behind the camera, reflected faintly in the lens, a shape, long, sharp, bent in unnatural angles. Watching, Merrick shouted, "It's right there, behind the camera." But the camera view switched to black before anyone could see more. Vale's voice came calmly through the audio. "Hostile presence confirmed. Do not panic." "Do not panic?" Merrick yelled. "It's crawling through our station." White medium star the creature makes its move. Lights in corridor be exploded all at once. Sparks rain like falling stars. The humans didn't flinch. But the aliens heard something else. Something that made their blood freeze. A growl. Not animal. Not machine. Something mixed. The humans activated their thermal vision. Nothing appeared. The ultraviolet sensors. Still nothing. Then the vibration sensors. A form appeared. Just a faint outline glowing red. Something moving on the ceiling. Fast. Very fast. The soldier closest to it lifted his weapon. Vale's voice echoed. "Do not fire yet. Let it come closer." Rello was shocked. They're letting it attack them? But humans were not standing still. They were calculating, waiting, inviting. White medium star, the creature attacks. The creature dropped suddenly, straight down. But humans were faster. 3 shots fired at the exact same moment. No hesitation. No fear. The creature screeched as one of the bullets tore into its shoulder. Its camouflage flickered, revealing a twisted, spider-like body with bone blades or limbs, and a skull that looked half organic, half metal. Lyra screamed, "What is that thing?" Vale answered, "A war remnant. Ancient. Deadly. Not from this era." The creature swiped at a human soldier with claws, so sharp they sliced through metal pipes like paper. The soldier countered with a plasma blade, clean, precise, cutting off one of the creature's limbs. Black blood hissed on the floor. But the creature didn't retreat. It learned. It changed its angle, changed its speed, adapted instantly. Rello whispered, It evolves in real time." Vale's reply chilled everyone. "Yes, and this is only a scout." White medium star the puzzled planet, while the humans fought the creature inside the station. The black star scanned the planet below. A second transmission came through. Black star to Vale. Subsurface readings discovered. Rello listened closely. Multiple heat signatures. Large. Growing. Undocumented. Vale responded. Confirm pattern. The next scan result appeared on everyone's screen. A diagram of the planet lit up with thousands of red dots under the surface. Eggs. Thousands of them. Merrick stared in horror. "This is not a hunt. This is an invasion." Lyra whispered. "The creature wasn't attacking us. It was protecting its nest." Rello's hands shook. "If these things hatch." Vale completed the thought. "The planet will release an unstoppable swarm, and it will spread." White medium star, the commander reveals more. The creature outside the station roared again, louder now, angry, confused, afraid of the humans. The black star responded instantly. A massive beam of dark energy fired from the warship, striking the planet's crust. It didn't explode. It didn't burn. It opened the ground, like a surgical cut. Rello couldn't breathe. "What kind of weapon is that?" Vale answered without emotion. "A gravity lance. It pulls instead of pushes." Lyra stared. "Pulls what?" Vale paused. "Everything." White medium star, the creature's final message. Inside the station, the wounded creature suddenly stopped fighting. It looked up toward the planet, then toward the human soldiers, and then toward the camera. It raised its remaining limb and scraped the floor. Once, twice, 3 times. A pattern. Merrick frowned. "What is it doing?" Vale responded, "Communicating." Everyone held their breath as the creature scraped again, leaving a crude symbol on the metal floor. A circle, a line, a second line crossing it. Vale's voice dropped lower. "My team has seen this symbol before." Rello asked, "Where?" Vale answered, On ruins of a dead civilization, one older than the galaxy map itself. The crew felt the temperature drop. This creature wasn't just a monster. It was a message, a warning, a survivor of something ancient, and much worse. The creature's symbol still glowed faintly on the metal floor, its black blood drying around it. A circle, a line, a crossing mark. Rello stared at it as if it were a curse. It warned us, but about what? Commander Vale didn't answer. The humans were already moving again. The wounded creature limped backward into the shadows, disappearing before any camera could track it. It did not attack, did not scream. It was retreating. Lyra whispered, "It's afraid not of us, but of something else." Merrick shook his head. What could scare a monster like that? No one wanted to imagine the answer. White medium-star humans prepare their hunt. Commander Vale's squad regrouped in a larger corridor, where dim red lights flickered like dying embers. They moved methodically, checking every angle, every shadow. Each human carried tools the aliens had never seen before, devices that hummed softly, projecting invisible patterns across the walls. The soldiers placed small metal spheres at intersections, sticking them to the ceiling. Lyra frowned. "What are those?" Vale finally answered. "Thermal nets." Rello blinked. "Nets? To catch the creature?" Vale shook his head. "No. Nets to catch movement we cannot see." As the humans placed the devices, the air shimmered. Thin waves spread across the corridors, distorting the space slightly, like heat rising from a desert road. Lyra whispered, "They are shaping the air." Merrick gulped. "They're turning the station into a trap." White medium star. The black star awakens. Meanwhile, outside the station, the black star warship shifted position. Large metal gates along its spine slid open, revealing rows of spider-like drones. Silent machines shaped like claws and shadows. The warship didn't roar or hum. It whispered. A deep vibration spread to the station, passing through metal, through walls, through bones. Rello shivered. "What is it doing?" Vale answered through the comms. "Marking territory." Lyra frowned. "Like an animal?" Vale replied. "Humans learn from our planet that the best predator warns others before hunts. If the warning is ignored, the hunt begins." The black star emitted another deep vibration, this time powerful enough to shake dust from the ceilings inside the station. The creature felt it. A distant roar echoed to the station, not in anger, but in response. Merrick whispered, "It understands them." Rello shook his head. "Or it recognizes them." White medium star, the first clue, a wall that bleeds. One of the human soldiers stopped near a sealed maintenance door. He touched the surface, and the scanners blinked red. Vale stepped beside him, checking the readings. Organic growth. Internal. Rello frowned. "Internal? You mean the wall is alive?" The soldier unsheathed a small plasma cutter and sliced a thin line across the metal. Black liquid oozed out. Lyra covered her mouth. "The infection has spread into the station?" Vale answered, "Not infection." He pressed his hand to the wall. "Construction." Mark's eyes widened. "Construction of what?" Vale's visor glowed as he scanned deeper. "A nest chamber." Rello froze. "A nest inside the station?" As if responding, the entire corridor suddenly vibrated. A cold wind rushed past them, air being pulled through unseen cracks. Lyra trembled. "It's breathing." The walls were breathing. White medium star humans turned predator. Vale looked at his soldiers. No words needed. They activated their gauntlets. Small blades extended. Energy fields shimmered around their armor. For the first time, Rello saw something frightening. Humans were enjoying this. Not smiling, not laughing, but their breathing calmed. Their movements grew sharper. Their posture changed. They had entered predator mode. One soldier whispered something in human language, too low for the translator to catch. It sounded like a ritual or a promise. Vale raised his hand, and the hunt began. White medium star, the station responds. As the humans moved forward, the lights suddenly shifted to a deep blue, not from the station, not from human tech, from the walls. The creature's biostructure had connected itself to Helios 9's power grid. Merrick panicked. It's controlling the lights. Vale corrected him. No, it is preparing to attack us in the dark. The blue lights dimmed, then died. Total darkness swallowed the corridor. The only light came from the glowing strips on the humans' helmets. Rello whispered, "How do they fight like this?" Vale's voice came through, calm and cold. "Humans do not need light. We need sound. We need breath. We need fear." A soldier threw a small sphere down the hallway. It rolled softly, then clicked. Boom! A silent shockwave spread outward, coating the air in silver dust. Lyra stared. "What is that?" Vale answered. "Trace dust." The dust hung in the air like fog, and then something moved through it. A shape cut through the dust, leaving a trail like wind through smoke. Merrick gasped. "There it is." The creature was invisible, but the dust outlined its movement. Fast, unnatural, zigzagging like a glitch in reality itself. Before anyone could blink, the humans reacted. A net trap activated. Then another, and another. 3 traps wrapped around empty air, and suddenly tightened around something solid. The creature screeched as its cloaking broke, revealing its full body for the first time. A towering, 4-limbed predator with bones like exposed iron and a skull that split into 3 razor jaws. Lyra screamed. It was hiding in plain sight, right next to humans. But Vale remained unmoved. Not hiding. He pointed his weapon. Waiting. The creature lunged, fast but injured, desperate but dangerous. The humans fired together. 4 shots. 1 explosion of black blood. A final metallic scream. And the creature fell. Dead. Or so everyone thought. White medium star the moment that changed everything. As the creature collapsed, its chest cracked open. Something inside it pulsed. Something glowing faintly. Lyra whispered, "Is that a heart?" Vale crouched over the body. No. He touched the pulsing object. It blinked. Once. Twice. Then projected a small hologram into the air. Ancient symbols, rotating slowly, repeating endlessly. Rello swallowed. What does that supposed to mean? Vale stood up as the hologram pattern grew brighter. His voice dropped. This was not a scout. He paused. This was a messenger. The hologram suddenly expanded, forming a map of unknown star systems. Thousands of them. Merrick whispered, horrified. "Is this the location of the others?" Vale nodded. Yes, this creature was not alone. It belongs to something much bigger. A final symbol appeared, one the humans recognized instantly. Vale spoke the last words with a quiet, chilling certainty. "We are dealing with an old empire, and it just woke up." The hologram map hovered in the air, thousands of red marks glowing across the galaxy like infected stars. Commander Rello stared at it, unable to breathe. "How can this many exist?" he whispered. Vale looked at the projection with no emotion. To him, this wasn't shocking, just familiar. "Because someone built them to conquer," he said quietly. "Someone who planned far ahead." Merrick trembled. An ancient empire? Vale didn't look at him. No, something older. Before anyone could ask more, alarms blared inside the station. Warning! Multiple hostiles approaching Helios. 9. Lyra gasped. More of them? How many? The answer arrived instantly as the camera feed switched to the station's exterior. Not 1 creature. Not 2. Not a dozen. Hundreds of distortions crawled up the hull like shadows made of knives. Merrick stepped back from the screen. We're dead. Rello forced his voice to stay steady. "Commander Vale, what do we do?" Vale turned his helmet slightly toward the window, watching the shadows collect. "We move to phase 2. White medium star, the black star shows its teeth. The human warship outside rotated slowly. Plates on its underside unfolded, revealing a massive circular device. Silent, glowing faintly red. Merrick whispered, "What is that?" Vale answered, "Atmospheric suppressor." Lyra frowned. "Suppressor? What does it suppress?" Vale replied, "Everything that breathes." Before anyone could protest, The Black Star fired. A ripple spread across space, silent, invisible, but powerful enough to make the station's metal vibrate like a drum. The creatures felt it instantly. Every distortion froze. Every invisible shape stopped crawling. Then they screamed, a single shared shriek, sharp enough to crack the outer windows. Lyra covered her ears. What did you do to them? Vale answered calmly. We lowered the oxygen in a wide radius. Not enough to kill you. Enough to agitate them. Mark's eyes widened. Agitate? Why would you want them angry? Vale looked at the camera. Because angry enemies make mistakes. White medium star, the first wave hits. The creatures abandon stealth. Hundreds of them uncloaked at once, revealing black skeletal bodies, razor limbs, glowing internal lines like molten cracks. They jumped from a hull toward the docking ring, toward the humans, toward the survivors. Helios, 9 shook as if hit by meteors. Rello grabbed the console. They're coming inside. Vale turned to his team. Positions. No shouting. No panic. Just preparation. 6 human soldiers spread out, forming a defensive arc. Their armor shifted shape, metal plates sliding to new positions. Shoulder cannons locked in place. Handheld rifles hummed with energy. Lyra whispered, They are changing their armor, adapting. Rello murmured, Just like the creatures. Vale responded without turning. Adaptation is human nature. We learn it the hard way. White medium star the breach. The docking doors burst inward, metal shredding like paper. The first creature rushed through, silent, fast, deadly. Vale lifted his hand. A wall of blue energy erupted from his wrist device. The creature slammed into the barrier, like hitting a mountain. Bones cracked. Blood sprayed. Rello's eyes widened. A shield! Vale corrected him. A deterrent. Before the creature could recover, 2 humans fired simultaneously. 1 shot to the legs, 1 to the spine, 1 to the skull. The creature fell. Another replaced it immediately. Then another. Then 10 more. A swarm of nightmares poured through the breach, climbing walls, crawling across the ceiling, sprinting with unnatural speed. Rello screamed, There's too many! Vale remained still. Stand firm. White medium star humans. Fight different. The aliens expected chaos. They expected fear, screams, confusion. But the humans fought like a single machine with many limbs. 1 soldier knelt and fired at the creature's legs. Another swung a glowing blade, cutting limbs with surgical precision. A third tossed impact mines that detonated in silence, pushing creatures back without shaking the station. There were no wasted movements, no hesitation, no fear. The station filled with black blood and broken claws. Merrick stared in disbelief. How are humans so fast? Lyra whispered, almost reverently, because they have fought monsters before. Vale spoke over the comms. Rello, they are not trying to kill us. Rello blinked. What do you mean? Vale fired a shot that passed a creature and hit something on the wall. Something alive. The entire swarm screamed. They are trying to reach the nest chamber inside your structure. Mark's eyes widened. But why? Vale answered, because a queen exists, and she is calling them. White medium star, the hidden queen. The floor shook, deep and heavy, not from the swarm, from something larger. Vale looked down the corridor. She is close. Before Rello could speak, the wall split open, not from a weapon, from something breaking out. A massive creature stepped forward, twice the size of the others, body covered in bone armor, jaws splitting sideways, for glowing hearts pulsing inside its chest. The queen. The swarm stopped instantly. They bowed their heads, sensing her presence. Rello stepped back. We cannot fight that we cannot. Vale interrupted calmly. You're right. The crew froze. Was he giving up? Vale turned to the window. Black Star. Lock primary cannon. The warship responded with a low, thunderous hum. Merrick panicked. You're going to fire that thing inside the station? Vale shook his head. No. He pointed at the floor, beneath them. We are going to the planet. Rello blinked. What? Why? Vale answered with chilling certainty. Because this queen is a guardian. He looked at the hologram again. The real threat is underground. Lyra whispered. Underground? What underground? Vale finally answered the question the aliens feared most. A birthing engine. Something that can create millions. The queen roared, a sound that shook bones. Vale raised his rifle. His soldiers prepared. The station lights flickered. Everything trembled. Commander Vale spoke his final line before the real war began. We're done playing defense. Time to exterminate the hive. The Queen's roar still echoed through the broken corridors of Helios. 9 as Commander Vale turned toward his team. The human soldiers stood ready. Blood from the creatures dripping off their armor, steam rising from their weapons. But Vale's eyes were not on the swarm. They were on the ground. Black Star, he said calmly. Begin excavation protocol. A deep voice responded from the warship orbiting above. Protocol confirmed. Targeting planetary crusts. Merrick froze. Excavation? You're drilling into the planet. Vale didn't look at him. We are opening a path. Before the aliens could respond, the Black Star released a powerful beam that struck the planet below. But it wasn't fire or energy or heat. It was gravity. The beam pulled the crust apart, like opening a giant metal door. The ground beneath Helios, 9 trembled violently. Cracks raced across the surface, expanding outward like veins of black lightning. Lyra grabbed onto a support rail. The planet, it's breaking. Vale shook his head. It was already broken. We're just revealing the inside. White medium star. Descent begins. The Queen shrieked again, enraged at the disturbance. Her swarm charged the humans, but Vale raised his hand. Black Star. Suppress. A second wave of invisible force washed through the station, and the swarm froze in mid-charge. Their limbs twitched, their bodies shaking violently as the air pressure shifted. Rello whispered in terror. You paralyzed them. Vale didn't reply. He simply stepped over the frozen creatures and approached a newly formed hole in the floor, a glowing tunnel carved by the gravity lance. The hole was deep, so deep that no light reached the bottom. Lyra stared into the darkness. What is down there? Vale answered with the calmness of someone stating a fact. The factory. Merrick stuttered. Factory? A factory for what? Vale turned. For them. And he jumped in. One by one, the human soldiers followed him into the abyss. Rello stared at the hole, heart pounding. If they stayed here, the Queen would break free. If they followed, they would face the unknown. He made the only choice that didn't feel like cowardice. Everyone, Rello said, voice shaking. We go after them. White medium star into the abyss. The descent was long enough for Rello to wonder the planet was hollow. Dark walls rushed past them as they fell, lit only by the faint glow of alien tech and the humans' helmet lights. At last, they hit a layer of soft, organic ground that absorbed their landing like a sponge. Lyra stepped back instantly. This isn't soil, it's alive. The ground pulsed like muscle. Merrick gagged. We're standing on flesh. Ahead of them, Vale's visor glowed faintly. Welcome to the birthing zone. The air smelled like rot and chemicals. Strange tubes, half organic, half metal, ran along the walls, pumping thick black fluid into massive chambers shaped like cocoons. Some cocoons were empty. Some held dead creatures. Some held creatures that were still growing. But the worst part? Some cocoons held bones of other species. Alien bones. Humanoid bones. Lyra covered her mouth. It used people to grow these things. Vale didn't slow down. This is not a nest. This is an assembly line. White medium star, the heart of the factory. They entered a massive chamber, big enough to hold a city. Lights flickered inside the walls. Machines hummed with ancient purpose. Gigantic tendrils hung from the ceiling, dripping black liquid onto the ground. Merrick whispered, How old is this place? Vale scanned the walls. Pre-Galactic era. Before any known empire. Rello's voice cracked. Who built it? Vale finally turned to him. Something that feared extinction. something that seeded weapons across the galaxy to ensure survival. He pointed at a huge central machine, an enormous, pulsating core made of bone and metal. Hundreds of tubes fed into it. Thousands of eggs drifted inside it. Millions more waited in automated storage chambers. Lyra gasped, "It's producing them non-stop." Merrick shook his head violently. "There's no stopping this. There's no—" Vale corrected him. "There is one way. White medium star the device." A human soldier opened a heavy metal case he'd carried since leaving the ship. Inside was a small black sphere with glowing rings. Rello felt a chill. "What is that?" Vale answered simply. "A planet core destabilizer." Marik's eyes widened with pure fear. That will explode the entire planet." Vale shook his head. "Not explode. Collapse." Rello stepped forward. "You're going to collapse a whole planet. Are you insane?" Vale looked him in the eyes. "Would you prefer the galaxy fall instead?" The chamber walls vibrated. Something massive was moving. Not footsteps. Not crawling. Breathing. The Queen had followed them. Her silhouette appeared at the tunnel entrance, massive, towering, glowing with fury. Hundreds of smaller creatures swarmed behind her. Lyra screamed. She brought the entire hive. Vale didn't flinch. Good. White medium star, the final stand. The humans formed a circle around the destabilizer. Their armor plates locked into place. Their weapons recharged. Vale spoke to his squad in human language. Short, sharp, final. Rello didn't need a translator to understand. This was a last stand. A real one. The Queen screeched, shaking the entire chamber. She charged. The hive charged with her. The factory pulsed faster. Eggs ruptured. Machines roared. Rello shouted, "Vale! We have to escape." But Vale placed the black sphere on the ground. It activated instantly. Threads of red light crawling into the floor like roots. He spoke his final line with a terrifying calm. "There is no escape, only victory or extinction." The destabilizer began its countdown. The chamber convulsed. The hive roared. The Queen leapt. The humans opened fire. Light and darkness collided in a storm of blood and metal. The planet began to collapse from the inside. And the fate of Helios 9, and maybe the galaxy, hung on what happened in that final moment. The planet core destabilizer glowed brighter with every passing second. Thin red cracks spread across the chamber floor like living veins. Deep below, the planet groaned, as if awakening from a long nightmare. Commander Vale stood unmoving, watching the countdown. 30 seconds. Rello felt panic rise in his throat. "We have to get out of here." Vale shook his head. "No escape until the hive is neutralized." Behind him, the Queen roared, a sound strong enough to make the chamber walls ripple like liquid. Her massive claws slammed into ground, sending shock waves through the cavern. Hundreds of creatures pour around her, crawling on the walls, climbing the pillars, swarming like a living storm. And the humans charged straight into them. White medium star, the last clash. The first wave at the human line, like a tidal wave of claws and teeth. But humans did not retreat. One soldier activated a sonic repulse shield, blasting back a dozen creatures. Another soldier fired an energy spear that pierced 3 skulls in one shot. A third soldier engaged the Queen directly, using twin plasma blades that clashed against a bone armor. The aliens had never seen anything like it. Merrick whispered, "They are fighting an entire species like it's just another mission." Lyra nodded slowly. "This is why they're feared. This is why they're called Deathworlders." Rello couldn't disagree. Humans weren't fighting for survival. They were committing to victory, no matter the cost. White medium star, the Queen's rage. The Queen slammed her tail, crushing a human soldier against the wall. His armor cracked, but he didn't scream. He simply grabbed a detonator from his belt. Vale shouted, "Do it!" The soldier triggered the blast. A silent shock that vaporized everything around him, including himself. The Queen staggered, parts of her body blown off, black blood pouring like ink. Rello stared in disbelief. They sacrificed themselves? Lyra whispered, "Humans do what others fear." White medium star, 20 seconds. The destabilizer's glow intensified. The chamber shook violently as the planet's inner layers began to crumble. Cracks spread upward. Egg sacs burst in panic. Biological machines failed one by one, but the Queen kept coming. She lunged at Vale with a screech that shook the air. Vale dodged barely and fired a magnetic charge that stuck to her chest. Boom! Metal shards tore through her body. She roared in fury but refused to fall. Her eyes burned with something deeper than instinct. Purpose. White medium star, the hidden truth. As Vale fought, the hologram from earlier flickered back to life, projecting ancient symbols above the destabilizer. One symbol glowed brightest. A broken star. Lyra pointed. That symbol, it's the same we saw earlier. Rello stared at Vale. What is it? What does it mean? Vale parried another strike from the Queen. It is a mark of the First Makers. Merrick blinked. First Makers? The ancient builders? Vale nodded. Yes, but they did not die. They evolved, and they left these creatures as guardians. Rello felt the ground shake harder. 10 seconds. Guardians of what? Vale looked at the Queen, bleeding but still fighting. Guardians of a weapon, something they feared losing. Lyra's voice cracked. A weapon stronger than this hive? Vale didn't answer. He didn't need to. White medium star, the collapse begins. The destabilizer reached its final countdown. 5, 4, 3. Vale shouted. Retreat to the gravity lift. Now! The humans began falling back, firing continuously, covering each other's escape. The Queen roared and jumped toward Vale. 2. Vale activated a final trap. A net of white-hot energy exploded upward, catching the Queen mid-leap. Her body convulsed violently as her camouflage muscles and bones all destabilized at once. 1. The Queen looked at Vale with her dying, burning eyes, as if understanding him, as if warning him. Then, 0. White medium star, the planet collapses. The floor vanished. The entire chamber dropped into a void as the destabilizer consumed the planet's core. A massive gravitational pulse shot outward, sucking everything downward. Eggs, machines, tunnels, the Queen, the hive, everything. Vale grabbed Rello's arm. Jump now. Rello lunged forward, the gravity lift pulling him upward just as the planet imploded beneath him. Darkness. Silence. Then light. The survivors shot up through the tunnel, just as the world below collapsed inward like crushed metal. White medium star extraction. The black star grabbed them with a tractor beam, pulling them aboard seconds before the shockwave reached them. Merrick collapsed on the floor, shaking. Lyra sobbed quietly. Rello stood trembling, staring at Vale. You destroyed an entire planet. Vale removed his helmet. His face was calm. Dead calm. Correction. He looked out the window as the planet imploded into a silent cloud of dust. We destroyed an incubator. White medium star, the final twist. As the black star prepared to leave the system, Rello approached Vale. Is it over? Vale didn't answer. The communications console beeped. A single new transmission had arrived. Not from the planet, not from the hive, from deep space. A message, using the same ancient symbols the creature drew. The black star translated automatically. The words sent a chill through every living being on the ship. Unit Alpha destroyed. Protocol awakening initiated. Phase 2 deploying. Merrick whispered, horrified. Phase 2? Vale finally spoke. His voice was almost quiet. The hive was only a test. And now the real builders know we're here. Rello swallowed hard. What should we do? Vale turned away from the window. Prepare. He looked at the crew with cold certainty. Because what we destroyed was only a nursery. The war behind it has just begun. The Black Star jumped to hyperspace, leaving behind the ashes of a world and the promise of something far darker coming their way.